In your videos, why do you choose to sit on a crate?
I chose to sit on the crate because it was easy and cheap at first. I didn't want to make a set that was distracting. I just wanted to make something that was like easy. And also, I don't just film the show in one location. I film it all across the country. So sometimes I have to film when I'm on the road. And so now it breaks down into a TV box and I can just use it wherever. And so I seriously didn't have a budget. So I just built a crate and beat it up and made it look like it was old. And that was why we did it at first. So we were balling on a budget.
Nice.
Okay. In your videos, you talk about experiences that shaped kind of your high school experience and even your life. Do you have a story that you think is like most poignant or has had the most like lasting impact on who you are today?
Yeah, I mean, I think each season of life has a story that really mattered for that season. Like today, when I talked to you guys, I talked about my best friend from high school who's still my friend today, and that was really impactful for me when I was in high school. And when I talk to college kids, I talk a lot more about my college story and some of the crazy adventures and things that I did when I was in that season of life. And so I think there's some really impactful stories that I've had all throughout my life, but the kind of main underlining factor to most of the most impactful stories was I was doing something wrong and somebody showed me what was right, and I learned from that. And so most of the stories that I have, I'm not the hero in my story. I was more the one who had to learn the lesson. And when I talk to you guys, I try to do the same thing, like teach you the lesson that I had to learn. And so it's not because I have all the answers, it's just I think I've maybe messed up more than most of you guys. And so I'm trying to help you learn from my mistakes too.
Do you talk to only high schoolers or like elementary schoolers? Or?
Sometimes I talk to elementary schools. They kind of look at me like a cartoon character. Like I come walking in and they're like, I've never seen one of these before. And so, so I don't talk to like the little kids very often. I think the demographic who really connects with my story a lot is college kids who are this close to being on their own and starting their own businesses or creating their own brands or dropping their own mixtapes or whatever they're trying to do. And so I think I don't know. I try to just really talk about the stage of life that my audience is in. So when I talk to high school kids, I don't talk to you guys about what it's like being a CEO for very long. When I talk to college kids, I don't talk about high school Mike. I talk about college Mike. And so I just try to keep the conversation relevant to the audience.
Do you think that like high schools are often defined by like cliques or people who run in their own social circles? And if so, how do you think like people or groups can become more inclusive for everyone?
The world's defined by cliques. Like we all are. Like that's an athlete and that's a skater and that's a musician and that's an actor and that's a teacher. And so we can be defined by cliques. I think it's the people inside of those cliques choosing to get out is what's going to make things better. And so when you have football players choosing to go to the band concert because the band goes to football games, that's when that clique starts to go away. When you've got a girls' sport that maybe isn't very well attended and you have like a whole group show up to watch them play or watch them perform, that's when cliques start to go away. But cliques aren't a bad thing. It's when they become hurtful is when it's bad. Sometimes a clique is just, this is what we do. Skateboarding is a clique. That's not a bad thing. There's a shared passion. It's when it's not inclusive or it's when you don't let people in. That's when it turns into a negative thing. And so I think a clique is only a negative thing if the people inside of it are negative people. And so you can have a group of skaters who love to skate, but they also give back to the homeless. They're a clique of skateboarders, but they're also doing really good stuff with it too. So I think cliques is just a high school branded word that we like to talk about. But the way you get out of that is don't be in one. Just be cool with everybody. My friend group is everybody. My friends are like teachers, doctors, skaters, hardcore dudes, like guys that own brands. Like my friend group is so diverse and vast. But that's because I didn't ever want to be defined by one thing. I wanted just to be defined as Mike. And so some people want to be defined by their clique. Some people wanted to be defined by who they are. But I think it just depends on who's in it. And I think that's what makes cliques go away is when good people are in those activities.
Right on. Okay, final question. What is the main idea that you want people who listen to you speak to take away from it?
I think if you ever hear me talk, my hope is that you're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about what you can do and what you love and what impact you want to make and what experiences you want to have. And I don't want people to walk away after hearing me speak being like, wow, that guy's doing X, that's awesome. I want you to go, what can I do? And what am I meant to do? And what was I created to do? And so I hope that when people listen to me talk, they're not, I don't even care if they remember my name. I don't care if they follow me on Instagram. I don't care if they know the names of my nonprofits. That's not why I do it. I do it because I want you guys to think about yourselves and challenge yourselves to find your thing. That's why I created Find Your Grind. Like, I don't want people to do what I do. I want you to do what you want to do. And I want to just give people a roadmap to get where they want to go. And so I think the message that I hope people get when I talk is write your own story and don't let anyone tell you what you can or can't do. Like, you write your story and you live with that. And that's what I think those of us that have created for ourselves, that's the message we want you guys to understand is I was misunderstood for a long time. Still am misunderstood. There are so many people who think this high school I'm going to open can't make it. Great. Like, I love it when people think I can't. I'm always just like, hashtag watch me, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to do it. And so, yeah, I hope when people hear me talk, they have this sense of, if that dude who's not that smart and didn't come from money and didn't have any opportunity, like, if he can create that stuff, like, there's no excuse for any of you. And so I just want you to chase you and what you want to do. And that's what I hope people get out of when I talk. That's what I'm shooting for. And I hope they have fun. I hope it's better than the last assembly. That's what I always hope too.
So you talked about like Skate for Change and starting your own nonprofits. I think there are a lot of people in Sandpoint High School who'd love to do something, maybe not like to that caliber, but at least like become more involved in our community. And I think it could be like a little daunting, like, where do you start? Like, do you have any advice for high schoolers? Yeah,
start small, which is the exact opposite of what you guys want to do. Like, you have to start really, really small and really, really simple. You can't help 100 people if you don't know how to help one. You can't mentor 20 kids if you can't mentor one. I couldn't have a warehouse with thousands of kids show up if I didn't know how to deal with a skate park that had 10 kids show up. And so many of us want to jump to the big thing because it feels cool and it looks better on Instagram and it makes us feel successful, but you can't scale up to a big thing until you're ready for it. If I'd have gotten $1 million donated to me the day that I opened up my skate park, I would have wasted it and not known what to do with it. I got a $1 million donation 2 years ago, and I was able to stretch that for years because I know what to do with it. And so you've got to learn how to, I call it growing into your greatness. You guys are all meant to be great, and you can be, but you can't start there. You've got to start with something small and simple. So if you want to get involved, there's 150 nonprofits in your community. I know that because I heard that when I walked in. So there's 150 opportunities that exist right now that you can hop in and go get involved into. But you need to do it because you want to learn, not because you want to get something out of it. Most people volunteer because they want to get the volunteer hours. Most people want to give back so they can get something for it. But the best of the best, it's this whole mentality of, are you trying to get all you can or give all you can? And if you're genuinely trying to give all you can, you're going to create something impactful. But if you're trying to get all you can, people feel that, and it doesn't work. And so the authentic ones make it, the fake ones don't. And time is the great equalizer. Time is the thing that separates most of us. There are so many fake entrepreneurs or wantrepreneurs or fake nonprofits and foundations and fake Instagram influencers and fake rappers. There's so many fake people that are going to have their 1 year, 2 year boom, but time is the great equalizer. I've been going for 9, coming up on 10 years just with this nonprofit. I worked at another one for almost a decade. Like, time is the thing that separates us. And so if you want to do it the right way, start small and grow into yourself. And so that's what I would do. We were talking about making stuff for schools, and I was at his house, and his daughter came home. She's a senior now. His daughter came home from her first day of high school, and she's like they're like family to me. And she was just like, walked in, dropped her bag, and I'm like cool Uncle Mike skateboarder dude, and she just like started bawling and like hugged her dad. It was her first day of high school, and she's got Asperger's or whatever, and it was like she just got picked on and made fun of like her first day, and like thought high school was over. And so her dad, who's this like super yoked out CrossFit wakeboarding dude, who's like, I'm afraid of him, he was like, we have to do something. And I was like, all right, like, what do you want to do? And so it was like 2 days later, like, I built a crate, we went in the thing, Kira was in there, and I was just like so mad at the thought of like people judging and ruining this girl's high school experience in her first minute being there, that was where the motivation behind it came from. So I started making videos for that school to show, and then it just like blew up, and I was like, well, I don't know everything, but I was like, I know a lot of people, so I just started pulling people in, and then it just grew. But the goal was never, I had no idea that like a school that's in like southern Canada, whatever, you guys, whatever, like, she got it right away. Everybody else was like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, but I never would have thought it would be here. I was never trying. If I wanted to do that, I would have put it on YouTube. You know what I mean? I just never thought it would happen. It's cool that it did. It's tight. But there's a reason why it's free. It's because I was like, it just needs to be out there. So